All right, Shalom. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. But in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He exists. Ba'ashem means in the name in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. And Yahweh Shai is the true name of the Messiah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, right, the language of the heavens, the true name of our Lord, Yahweh Shai, which means He exists. Salakia, which means He is deliverer, right? Because when Yahweh Shai returns, He's coming back to deliver a remnant, which this lesson is going to touch on the remnant, the elect of the nation of Israel. I want to give double honors to my apostles, to the elders, to the bishops of Great Millstone that rule well, which taught me this truth, who are the true leaders of Israel today, and also peace, love, blessings, and salutations unto the elect. All right, Shalom. And, the elect is a topic that these other Israelite camps never touch on, man. The only camp that touches on the elect or goes in speaking about the elect is Great Millstone, okay, and the brothers that teach the same doctrine, okay. So I want to start in Romans, the 9th chapter, and I want to start at verse 27, and it reads, Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel. Now, when it comes to the Lord's people, He's only dealing with the children of Israel, man, the Israelites. He made a covenant with the Israelites, man. Okay, He gave His laws, His statutes, and His commandments unto the children of Israel. Okay, as a matter of fact, let me see. Salakia, bear with me real quick. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. The Lord Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto Himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay, speaking about the children of Israel, right? Let's go real quick. Deuteronomy 6:1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which are Salakia, which the Lord Yahweh your power commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it. So it's talking about giving laws, statutes, and commandments and judgments, okay, unto a particular people, which is going to tell you. It says that thou mightest fear the Lord Yahweh thy power, to keep all His statutes and His commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's sons, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Okay, let's read that again. That thou mightest fear the Lord, because that's the beginning of knowledge, right? When you have a fear of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that's the beginning of knowledge, man. It says that thou mightest fear the Lord Yahweh thy power, to keep all His statutes and His commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, right? All the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel. So He's talking to the children of Israel. Okay, so now that gives you better context of Deuteronomy 7:6. Okay. So yeah, I'll finish this out. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily as the Lord Yahweh power of thy fathers have promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Okay, hear, O Israel, the Lord, our power, is one Lord. All right, so yeah, that's the point on that. Right, so pretty much just to prove that point, man. Okay, so real quick, let's go back to Romans 9:27. Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. So it's talking about a remnant, man. Okay, so I went into, I got a couple of precepts that proved that the Lord is only dealing with the children of Israel. He only gave his laws, statutes, and commandments unto the children of Israel. So when it speaks about a remnant being saved, it's talking about a remnant from a particular nation of people. Okay, not all nations are nationalities, man. Okay. So let's go from there. Salakia. So let's go from there. And I'm actually going off of this list as well. Okay, so it's all about a remnant coming back into ultimately the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which that is what's going to lead to the elect being delivered, man. Okay, so let's go from there and let's grab Revelation, the 11th chapter and the 11th verse. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. Right. So now it's going into, well, first let's touch on the 3 days and a half. That's a period of 350 years, from 1619 to 1970. And in that time period, this truth was not being pushed in the earth. Okay, in this time period, the Lord, he hid his face from us. But then ultimately the Lord rose up. As a matter of fact, what is that, Malachi? Let me grab this real quick. 4 and 5. So after that period of 350 years, right here in Malachi 4 and 5, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. All right, so we believe that to be Elder Abba Bivens, because he started going into not just the Old Testament, but the New Testament, and teaching on the 12 tribes. Okay, teaching on the 12 tribes of Israel, and going into the Israelites. Okay, going into Yahweh Shai. As far as teaching the truth. Now, of course, it was a portion that was given unto him, right? But that's how the Lord, does things, man. Okay. So yeah, it says, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, which that had to already have taken place, because that's why this truth is pretty much, this truth is across the four corners of the earth. And you can see what's going on as far as biblical prophecy is concerned. You can see the things that's taking place that's leading unto biblical prophecies being fulfilled. So this right here already had to have happened. Okay, as far as the Lord sending back Elijah the prophet. Okay. Verse 6, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers. He shall come and smite the earth with a curse. Right, so that already happened. So let's go back to Revelation 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, so a period of 350 years where this truth wasn't being taught in the earth, where, the Lord hid his face from us, right? It says the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. Now, when it says the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, that's going into the breath. Okay, the spirit of life, or the breath of life. Okay, when the Lord put his breath into us, which he gave us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding via Yahweh Shai. Okay, and they stood upon their feet. Now you see the prophets back on the highways and byways, man, back on the scene, standing upon, our feet, prophesying, man. It says, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. They're going into these elites because they know that this symbolizes their end. Okay, so now you have, so let's touch on real quick the breath, right? Because it says that the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them. Real quick, let me grab Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, in the 5th verse. As a matter of fact, let's start at verse 1. It says, vision of the valley of dry bones. And the dry bones represent the Israelites who don't have this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and are pretty much in a dried up, withered state. Now, also throughout the scriptures, you can see the Lord, he will liken the children of Israel unto plants or unto trees. Okay, now if you think about a plant, if it doesn't get the proper nourishment, it's going to ultimately wither away. So that's how Israel is without having the truth. They're not getting the proper nourishment of righteousness, man, which leads them to withering away unto their destruction, unto their death. Okay. Now, also, you'll see throughout the scriptures how this truth is likened unto water. Okay. So we need this water to sustain ourselves, man. Okay. And get that proper nourishment and nutrients that we need, man. So the Lord is very, ultimately, the symbolisms that the Lord uses from time to time in the metaphors is very clever. Okay. Ezekiel 37:1, the hand of the Lord Yahweh was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord Yahweh and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and the valley representing America, Babylon, man. Okay, because if you think about a valley, it's a low area of land. And if you think about America, morally, this is a low land, man. Okay, it has no forms of righteousness whatsoever. Well, ultimately, I say it like this: the only form of righteousness that Babylon has is holding the prophets. Majority of the prophets are over here, man. Okay, but besides that, everything else is wicked. Verse 2, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord, power thou knowest. Right, because the Lord, he gave Ezekiel a vision. Ezekiel saw the state of Jacob, pretty much. He saw into the future until today's time, man, seeing Jake in a very degenerate state. And so ultimately, the Lord asked, when he says, can these bones live, pretty much going into, can they be quickened? Can they be awakened unto righteousness? Right. And so Ezekiel said, only thou knowest. OK, because, Ezekiel, and, I'm just extrapolating when I say this, he was probably pretty much, when he saw the state of Jake, he probably thought like, hell no, they can't be saved. But he understands that, all things are possible through Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So verse 4, again, he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones. So that's the whole point of why the prophets are back, man. OK, the Lord, quickened the prophets so that they can teach and give Jake the warning, man. And for the ones that take heed, they're of the elect. And for the ones that don't, they're not of the elect. Okay. It says, and again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Now, verse 5 being the point, thus saith the Lord power unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. Okay, so that's representing the spirit, okay, of the Lord, the breath, the breath of life. Okay, so the Lord breathed his breath of life into us, and that's what brought us back to life. Okay, that's what quickened us. Okay, it says, and ye shall live. All right, so it's very important. So now when we go back to Revelation 11 and 11, so now you have better context and understanding. So Revelation 11 and 11, and after 3 days and a half, a period of 350 years, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. So the Lord put the breath, his breath into us, and that's why you see the prophets standing upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Okay, fear upon the elites. All right. So let's go from there, and let's grab Baruch, the second chapter, and the 30th verse. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, speaking about the children of Israel, very hard-headed, stiff-necked, very, very rebellious. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. All right, so we're still in captivity. Okay, our final captivity, and this is why you see this great mass awakening of Israelites returning back into their nationality, returning back into calling upon the power, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. See, this is all biblical prophecy, and this is something that was inevitable, man. And this is something that Esau can't escape. He can't escape prophecy, man. Okay? And shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh their power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear. Okay? And this is all a part of the Lord giving us his breath, putting his breath back into us. Now we know these things now, right? We know the things that are pleasing unto the Lord, and we know the things that we need to do to be delivered, man. Okay, all of this is because the Lord put his breath into us, man. Okay, his breath of life. You see, it says, and shall know that I am the Lord, their power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear, understanding. Right? Amos 3 and 7. Let's grab that real quick. Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Okay, so a part of the Lord putting his breath into us, certain secrets and mysteries are revealed unto us, man. So these are the perks of being an Israelite, man, and not just an Israelite, but a prophet of the Lord, man. Okay, so this is very important. It says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. And that's what's going on. You see the children of Israel, right? The prophets praising the Lord and calling upon the Lord, man. Okay, the true believers. Okay, because you have the prophets that are going out and prophesying, but you also have believers, man. Okay, like a lot of women that are going to be the ones that are going to be delivered. A lot of them are going to be delivered because they believe in the Lord through, whether it's through their husband or their the man that they're with, a man of the Lord that they're with, or if they may not be with a man of the Lord, but they believe, and ultimately the Lord is going get all of that sorted out. For some of you sisters that may be concerned with that, man. Okay, but ultimately, the point is, you see the true believers returning back unto the Lord. This is all biblical prophecy, man. You see, verse 33, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. And that's the true baptism, man. We heard this word, and we understood, what was pleasing unto the Lord and what's displeasing unto the Lord, man. Okay, and so a particular change took place, and that's the real baptism, man. Not just getting your head dunked under some water, and then you come up pretty much worse than you was before. The true baptism is when a particular mindset changes, right? You stop doing things that's wicked. You stop patterning yourselves after wickedness, and you start patterning yourself after righteousness, man. Right? Real quick, Romans chapter 12, verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, because this world is ruled by the wicked. Right? When you read Job 9:24, it goes into the hands. It says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked being the Edomites, pursuant to Malachi, the 1st chapter and the 4th verse. Okay. And he's ultimately living out a blessing. When you go into Genesis, the 27th chapter, around the 39th and the 40th verse, it goes into a blessing that was given unto Esau, pretty much dominion, okay, in the sword, right? So he's in power right now. He's living out his blessing. So you don't want to pattern yourself after, the wicked. You want to pattern yourself after righteousness, man. So that's why it says, and be not conformed to this world. So don't be conformed to this devil and, and ultimately get destroyed by conforming into himself, into his ways. You want to conform yourself after righteousness, man. It says, but be ye transformed. So a particular change has to take place. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. You see? So a certain change has to take place. So that's why it says, and return from their stiff neck. So this is what the true believers would be doing, man. And think upon, it says, verse 33, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You see? And ultimately, this is going to lead unto us being delivered, okay, and receiving salvation, man. Right? Verse 34, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. So ultimately, it's inevitable that we're going to rule, man. Okay, we're coming into and that transitioning is taking place right now. Okay, where the Lord is taking Esau down and raising up Israel, man, beginning with Yahushai, King David, the 12 and the 144,000, which makes up the top governing body, and that remnant, that Lord's multitude, man. Okay, so this is very important, man. This thing that we're a part of, man. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. So with the Lord raising up a remnant is leading into all of this, man. It's ultimately going to lead unto us receiving the kingdom. Okay. Okay, let me grab one more. Because like I said, this is mainly going in this lesson is talking about the elect, right? Matthew chapter 24 and verse 31. So here it is. The Lord put his breath back into us, right? And this is what it's going to lead to. Okay, so he put the breath into us. He gave us this truth so that it can be taught, so that, all of the elect can eventually be sealed. And then after that, the destruction is coming. And that's the time period that we're in now. We're seeing the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, the beginning of sorrows. Okay, the beginning of the end of Esau, man. Okay, and that's all because of this word being pushed. Matthew 24 and 31, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect for the four winds, right? The trumpet being blowed, this truth, okay? And the elect is going to hearken unto this trumpet that's being blown, this truth. And that's what's going to lead them to being delivered. It says from one end of heaven to the other. Okay, so the elect is being gathered, man, via this word. All because the Lord put his breath back into us, man. So that's what it's leading to, man. But anyway, Salakia, if I was all over the place, man, ultimately, man, I just woke up. So, when you first wake up, man, your mind is all over the place. But Lord willing, this lesson is edifying, man. Okay, and that's the whole point of us doing these lessons, to edify the elect. But yeah, with that being said, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to my apostles, to my elders, to the bishops of Great Millstone that rule well which taught me this truth, who are the true leaders of Israel today. Peace, love, blessings, salutations unto the elect. Shalom.